Let's get straight to it. There's a shift happening right now in finance that most people are completely ignoring, and it has the potential to replace the way you store, spend, and grow your money. We're talking about stablecoins with built in yields, not just holding digital dollars, but earning money on them every single day while still being able to spend them instantly. That's the part people are missing out on because traditionally you've had to choose one or the other. You either save money and earn a small interest rate or spend your money and earn nothing. But what if you could do both at the same time? Yep, that's right. You could do both. That's what this new system is aiming to solve. And if this actually scales the way it's being designed to, your bank account could become obsolete. So let me break it down clearly for you. Right now, when you put your money in a traditional bank, the bank takes your deposits and uses them to generate yield. They lend it out, they invest it, they move it through financial systems. So, what do you get in return? Maybe 0.01%, maybe 0.5% if you're lucky, a few percent depending on the account type, right? Meanwhile, they're making significantly more. That gap is the business model. Now, flip that into the crypto and on chain finance world. Stablecoins were originally designed to be simple digital dollars pegged to the value of the USD, easy to move, easy to send, easy to store. But they didn't solve one key problem. They didn't earn. So now the evolution is happening. Instead of holding a stable coin that just sits there, you hold a stable coin that is constantly generating a yield in the background automatically. No staking required, no lockups, no separate accounts. Just holding it means it's working for you. Now, this is where it gets interesting, right? Because if your money is always earning, even when you're not thinking about it, even when you're spending it, then your entire relationship with money, it changes. Imagine this. You get paid, your funds go into your yield generating stable coin. From that moment forward, it starts earning. You go buy groceries, before you even spend it, right? It's earning. But after you spend it, whatever remains continues earning. There's no move money into savings step no more. Everything becomes one unified financial layer. This is what people mean when they talk about programmable money. Money that behaves differently than traditional currency. Now, let's talk about why this matters financially. Because this isn't just about convenience. This is about capturing yield that used to be locked behind institutions. When yield becomes native to the asset itself, you eliminate the middleman. And historically, whenever middlemen get removed, margins shift toward the user. That's where opportunity comes in. Now let's address the biggest issue here, right? Trust. Because none of this works if people don't trust the system. And right now, trust is still one of the crypto's biggest barriers to entry, right? People hear yield, on chain, automatic earnings, and immediately think risk. They're not wrong to think that, right? Because yields has to come from somewhere. There's no such thing as like free yields, right? It's either coming from lending markets, treasury strategies, liquidity provisioning, are structured financial mechanisms. So the real question becomes, is the yield sustainable? And is it transparent? That's where the next phase of this industry is being built at. Transparency, on-chain visibility, verifiable backing, because unlike traditional banks where you don't really know what's happening behind the scenes, these systems aim to show you everything in real time. That's a fundamental shift. Now let's take this a step further, right? Why are stablecoins such a big deal globally? Because they're not just for crypto users. They solve real world problems, right? Think about countries with unstable currencies. Think about inflation eating away at savings. And think about people who don't have access to reliable banking. So, stablecoins give access to a digital dollar system without needing a traditional bank, right? Now add yields on top of that. And you're not just preserving value, you're growing it. That's powerful, right? Because that's why many analysts believe stablecoins could become a foundational layer of global finance. Now, just a niche product, a base layer. Now, here's where things get even more advanced. AI agents, right? This is where finance starts blending with automation. Because if your money is programmable, then systems can manage it for you automatically, optimizing the yields, moving funds, adjusting strategies without needing to manually do anything, right? So that's where things start to look different from a traditional finance approach, right? Your money doesn't just sit there, it moves, it works, it adapts. Now, let's bring this back to you. Why you should care about this right now? It's simple. Because early understanding leads to early positioning. You don't need to jump in blindly, right? You don't need to chase every new project, but you do need to understand the direction of things and where things are going. Because the people who understand shifts early are the ones who benefit the most when they go mainstream, right? Think about it like this. The internet didn't replace everything overnight, but the people who understood it early built leverage, and so it's the same thing here. Now let's talk about the risk clearly though, right? Number one, smart contract risk. If the system has flaws, funds can be at risk, right? Number two, the yield sustainability. If yields is too high, you should question it, right? High returns usually mean a higher risk. And number three, regulatory uncertainty. Governments are still figuring all of this stuff out, right? Rules can change. So just be aware of that. Number four, platform risk. Not all systems are built the same. Some are strong, some are fragile. So the strategy is not blind trust, right? You want to get in with a company that has a good reputation. You know what I'm saying? The strategy is informed positioning. Understand where yields come from. Understand how funds are managed. Understand what you're actually holding. You get what I'm saying? So you really have to research this thing. Now, here's the bigger picture though, right? If stable coins with built-in yields succeed, banks will have to adapt to that. Because why would someone keep money in an account earning almost nothing when there's alternatives that exist, right? That are transparent, liquid, and yield generating. That's the pressure point, right? And financial systems always evolve under pressure. So we're not looking at an instant replacement of things. We're looking at gradual migration, step by step, small steps to this, right? But understanding it is the most important thing. More people moving into systems that give them more control, more visibility, and more return, right? Now let's look and take this with a different height, right? Like this isn't about chasing trends. This is about understanding the structural shift in how money works, right? From static money to productive money, from passive holding to active earning, from centralized control to programmable systems. And whether you participate now, later, or just observe, right? Knowing how this works puts you ahead of most people, because most people will only pay attention after it's already normalized. And by then, the biggest opportunities are already gone. So stay aware, stay strategic, and most importantly, understand where money is actually flowing, because that's always where the future is being built.